Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in this video, I'm going to be going over 6 types of women you should avoid. This is one of the most important videos I think I'll ever make for you guys, so make sure you stick around until the very end to make sure you don't end up with one of these girls. You guys all enjoyed my red flag video and found that one super helpful, so I figured this would be a good one to go along with it. I also want to say that I'm not here to bash women. I think there are a ton of amazing girls in the world, but you're never going to find those girls if you're stuck with one of these. So a lot of times I think it really does come down to we all have some healing to do. We all have a lot of issues that we need to fix. But at the end of the day, you cannot fix someone's issues. They have to do that themselves. So you'll find that most of the girls on this list just honestly have some things that they need to work on before they become dateable for you. So in this video, I'm going to go over 6 types of girls that you should avoid at all cost. You're not going to want to marry this girl. This girl is going to ruin your life. So let's get started. Number 1, we have the insecure girl. And I think we all get a little bit insecure sometimes. We all have a little bit of insecurity, especially with the rise of social media and the constant comparison game between other people. But the difference in this girl is that she lets her insecurities run her entire life. So it always gets to a point where her insecurities is going to ruin her friendships and it's going to ruin her relationship with you. In order to have a healthy, happy relationship, you really do have to love yourself, as cheesy as that sounds. And a girl that's really insecure and hates herself is going to be really, really hard to date. She's jealous, she's controlling, she doesn't trust you even when you've done nothing wrong. Key word there on you've done nothing wrong. If you've given her a reason not to trust you, I think that's a little bit different. But if this is coming out of nowhere and she's just not trusting you and accusing you of things for no reason at all, this is an issue. She's always going to be starting fights with you about something. And to put it simply, this is the girl that snoops through your phone while you're sleeping. She's toxic. And this could really be just a little stage for her that she's going through. Maybe she's not happy with her life and she's feeling really insecure about it and she's projecting that onto you. But at the end of the day, you have to sit back and think, is it worth it? She might not be good for you right now. She might be good for you 5 years from now, but that doesn't change the fact that she's not good for you right now. I think that's a big mistake that people make. She can still be a good person without being good for you necessarily. And I think a lot of times people that get into relationships that are really insecure just become more insecure because they're constantly finding things to get mad at you about, to fight about, and it becomes this horribly toxic habit that never ends. And sometimes this girl just really needs to be single to find herself and figure all of this out. So I wouldn't even waste your time with this one. Number 2, we have the materialistic girl. And this is the one that you guys talk about the most because she is also known as the gold digger. This girl often only cares about vanity, money, beauty, showing things off. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel insecure. There's nothing wrong with wanting nice things. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be successful and wanting to be with someone successful. But the issue is that a lot of these girls only want you for those specific reasons. What's even worse is that most of the time, these kind of girls aren't even contributing to any of this, and they're just expecting you to provide all this for her 24/7. That's unrealistic, unhealthy, and honestly just not fair to you. She's only going to care about things like how much money you make, how many luxury items you buy her, how many vacations a year you go on, what kind of car you drive, things that she can show off to show that she lives this luxurious lifestyle. And like I said, if she's not contributing to this at all, that's a bad sign. This girl is often very superficial, very surface level, and she's gonna spend all your money. The second you stop spending, she's gonna be out the door. So the best advice I can give you is to just avoid this girl at all cost. And this one's gonna be really hard for you because these girls are often hot and you're gonna want her for that very reason. It's gonna be a big temptation and it's gonna be hard to say no to her or resist her, but it's gonna cause you more harm than good in the long run. And these really hot girls that are materialistic gold diggers come with a very hefty price tag. Number 3, we have the girl with no girlfriends. And this one doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal, and normally it's not in the very beginning, but this becomes something that turns into a bigger problem the longer you date a girl. Number 1, this is a sign that she can't maintain relationships with people. If she can't even keep a friendship, what makes you think your relationship is going to be any different? And really, it's just important to have friends outside of the relationship that you're in, even if it's only 1 or 2. I personally am an introvert. I don't like to go out and do a ton of things, and I keep my circle very small for those reasons. I'm really picky with who I spend my time on, but I still have friends and I still have a life outside of my relationship. And I think this is something that not enough people realize. the importance of, because this girl's gonna be really clingy, really needy. She's gonna wanna be with you 24/7, and like I said, in the beginning it might seem okay, but later on you're gonna resent her for it and it's gonna drive you nuts. If this girl is only associating with you and has no other friends to hang out with or talk to, she's gonna expect you to be available for her 24/7. This is the girl that gets mad at you when you tell her that you're going to hang out with your friends and just doesn't want you to do anything besides spend all your time, money, and attention on her. This is never good. So the girl with no girlfriends doesn't seem that threatening in the beginning, but it often turns into something that becomes a much bigger issue. Number 4, we have the lazy girl. This is the girl with no ambition, no hobbies, no passions, and simply zero interest. What does she like to do? Nobody knows. She doesn't even know what she likes to do, and that's where the problem begins. This is the girl that spends all her time on social media, looking at other people's lives with no plan for her own. And I also want to say here, it's okay to be in a little bit of a rut sometimes. I think we all go through periods of time where we're feeling a lack of motivation, a little bit depressed maybe, just really lacking those passions and drive for life. I think it's normal to go through little stages like that, but it becomes an issue when it's all the time. So like I said, it happens to the best of us. Even for me, right out of college, I felt a little bit lost and overwhelmed because I knew right away that I hated my job that I had just spent 4 years going to school for. So I understand that everyone goes through little phases like this. It's something that I definitely struggled with at one point in my life, but the difference was I didn't sit around and feel bad for myself. I worked my butt off to get myself out of a situation that I wasn't happy in. I think that's something that you need to pay extra attention to. Is she doing anything to change the situations that she's not happy with? Does she have any sort of goals or ambitions for her life? If not, that's a big red flag and someone that you're not really gonna wanna be with. So like I said, it's one thing if they're actively working towards fixing the situation that they're unhappy in, but if someone is so unhappy in a situation and complaining to you about it all the time, but doing nothing to change their life or their habits or anything that they're doing, that's when it becomes a real issue. You want a girl with substance that has some sort of self-actualization going on. If she doesn't have this, she's always gonna rely on you for her entertainment, for money, for her happiness, for everything, because she can't create it for herself. And I just want to reiterate again here, it's okay to be supportive and encouraging if you notice that she's just going through a little bit of a rough patch, but it's really important to distinguish if this is just a rough patch or if this is something that's going to be consistent for your entire life. And if that is the case, you need to take a step back and reevaluate your life and future with this girl. Also, I want to point out that the lazy girl and the gold digger are sometimes the same thing. They sometimes kind of coexist, because a girl that just is a gold digger and wants you for your money probably doesn't want to actually work for herself and have any ambition or future or goals in her own life. So keep that in mind. Number 5, we have the attention addict. This one is also known as the Instagram model, the girl that is constantly seeking validation from strangers online. This girl is also often the cheater because she's constantly posting half-naked photos online in her swimsuit, in lingerie, or she's actually naked, and she's getting all this attention from all of these strangers, and it often leads to nothing good. This is also the girl that gets really bored really quickly and is constantly seeking the next thing to make her happy, the next piece of validation, the next like, the next comment. She's just always looking for something more, and not in a good way. So once the new and kind of fun phase of your relationship starts to fizzle out, she's gonna be out the door and on to the next guy that comments on her Instagram photo. So nothing is ever enough for this girl, and this is often a very deep-rooted issue that takes a lot of healing and a lot of working through, because she can't create her own happiness. She's depending on others to do that for her, which is why she's constantly looking for and seeking validation from others and constantly looking for the next best thing. And number 6, we have the rebound seeker. This is the girl that is constantly hopping from one relationship to the next. She just got out of a relationship last week and she's already trying to be serious with you this week. This is a huge red flag, and this girl does this with more people than just you. This is another instance of a girl that can't be happy, doesn't know who she is, and doesn't find peace in being alone, which is why she is constantly seeking a guy or a man in her life to make her happy and fuel all of her happiness. She bounces from one guy to the next because she has to have a guy in her life to feel happy. A lot of people tell you to automatically start dating after a breakup, and that could not be farther from the truth. This is just a quick fix and a band-aid, and you never actually address the problem or get over the last person because you're hopping from one guy to the next. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, she's just using you as a way way to feel better temporarily, and you are a rebound. So if you don't want to be a rebound, do not get into something serious with a girl that just got out of a serious relationship. So guys, that concludes my 6 types of women to avoid at all cost. Let me know down below if I missed any. I would love to hear some of your stories in the comments below. If you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for when I release new content. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at COURTNEYCRISTINERYAN. I love connecting with all of you guys on there as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.